Hello everybody, today we're going to review or talk about system of equation using substitution. So there's three basic steps. One, to solve for x or y in one equation, and then step two, use that value to plug into the second equation and solve. And third step, use that number and find the other variable. Okay, so now this is the example that we have. 10x plus y equals 35. And then 4x minus 7y equals negative 23. So what we want is we want to solve for whenever these two cross. Or we're trying to solve a pair of x and y. Solution is an x and y that be true for both of these equations. Okay, so first step that we need to do is we need to rewrite either x equals or y equals from one equation. So the easiest one to do to avoid fraction and negative is to pick the y right here because they have the coefficient of 1 and it's positive. Okay, so we want to rewrite the first equation so that we have y equals something. So we want the y on this side, we don't want the 10x being added. So one thing you can do is to subtract the 10x from here and do the same to the other side. Okay, so that the negative the 10x is gone. So now we have the new equation is y equals 35 minus 10x. We don't combine these two because they are not like terms. Okay, so whatever we do next is, since that we rewrite the first equation in this form, we're going to use this number right here, use this expression 35 minus 10x and substitute it into the other equation. Okay, so here I have y is being replaced by 35 minus 10x. So go to the other second equation. Whenever I see y right here, I'm going to replace it by that. Okay, that means the y is no longer there. The y will be replaced by the parenthesis. Okay, so let's rewrite this. 4x stay the same. Minus 7. Now instead of the y, I'm going to substitute this in. 35 minus 10x. Okay, inside the parenthesis and bring down the equals negative 23. This is from the second equation. Okay, now let's clean this up a little bit and take up the parenthesis. So the 4x is totally outside. I can just rewrite them like that. Now I have the 7 and the parenthesis. So with that, I need to distribute. Okay, the 7 in front parenthesis means a multiplication. So I'm going to distribute the negative 7 into each of the term inside the parenthesis. Negative 7 times 35 will give you a negative 245. Okay, again, negative 7 will be distributed to the second term, which is negative 10x. So negative times a negative will give you a positive. 7 times 10 gives you 70x equals negative 23. Now on the left side, we have three terms. We need to combine like terms. So the 4x and the 70x are being added. So it's going to become 74x minus 245 come from here. Again, we cannot combine the x and the one without the x. So we're just going to rewrite them side by side. But we do know how to use algebra to solve for x, right? Because x is what we want. So we're going to add 245 to both sides of the equation. And with that, this one will be cancelled. I have 74x on the left side equals negative 23 plus 245 will give you 222. Okay, so now the last step to solve for x is we just need to divide both sides by 74. Okay, and we're going to have x by itself equals to 3. X equals 3 is our solution for the x on this system of equation. Now that we have the x, we need to find the other variable, which is the y, right? So here, look at the first two equations. I have this equation is already solved for y, so that would be best. We can use this equation. It's easier than plugging the second into the second equation, right? So let's use the first equation right here and solve for y. So y equals 35 minus 10. Now we already solved for x, which is 3 right here. So we're gonna put the 3 whenever I see the x. Okay, whenever I see the x, I'm going to use 3. Okay, so y equals 35 minus 10 times 3 is 30. So 35 minus 30, we're going to get y equals 5. Okay, now that we have our x and our y, let's put them in the correct form. This is where your two lines right here cross. At this point, 3, 5, label x, label y. Okay, so that is how we solve system of equation using substitution. First step, get y by itself by subtracting 10x, and then use that one, substitute that or plug it into the second equation. Instead of y, we're replacing that with 35 minus x. Distribute the negative 7 and combine like terms. We're going to have the x, and just using algebra, we're going to solve for x. After you solve for x, you're going to use that number to solve for the other variable. Okay, we're using the first equation because it's very nice. It's clean and nice because it have y by itself. So we just substitute the x that we found 3 into the x on the equation, and we're going to get 5. Your final answer is 3, 5, with the x equal to 3, the y equals to 5. Okay. If you need extra help, please contact me. I stay after school every day, so I'll be available to help. Any algebra teacher will be able to help you. Okay. Have fun and keep trying and never give up, guys. I love you. See you in the next time.